How is everyone doing today? Good morning. How is everyone? How is everyone? How is everyone? Actually, how is the audio? I've not got any of that like crappy choppy audio stuff going on. Well, I haven't had it for a few days, so I probably shouldn't have said it because I'm just hinting fate. But how is everyone? If you're in the chat, please feel free to let us know. My name is Graham Day. This is the man that we call Bibby, and together we Ice Cream Uploads. Before I jump into that, how's things, babe?
Yes, man. Yes, man, I'm good. How about you?
How's things? Yes, man. Okay. Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, my room's suddenly gone all pink, like none of the activity flashing lights in the background, and that's because Ferno FIFA. I'm assuming that's Lewis with a change of brand. Hey, has hosted the channel. Thank you very much for the host, dude. Much appreciated. Let me just.
Shagger.
Yes, he is.
Is he a shagger?
Yes, he is.
Does he look like a shagger?
Yes, he is. Yes, he fucking is. Anyway, if you don't know who we are, as mentioned, my name is Graham. This is Bibby right here. And together we are Ice Cream Uploads. And in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. Some may say the UK's #1 video games podcast, and they will be correct. We're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. And we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions, and it's important, if you are here live right now at 10 a.m.-ish, on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, that you get involved in the chat. And it's important that you do that because we turn this into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Everyone listening and watching on demand gets to enjoy the whole show, but they don't get to speak and share their thoughts right here, right now. You guys get to do that on behalf of them. So please feel free to use the opportunity to do that. Before we do jump into things, though, a couple of things to mention. First one, which is shameless self-promotion, is...
Thank you for the ice cream.
Hey, Wes, thank you very much for the host, dude. Good morning. The first thing is !2k. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to do that in a second because I restarted my PC and chatbot's not open, so I'm going to stall whilst that loads up. That's fine. !2k. When the PC, the chatbot comes back to life, I will do that for you. But we are on the verge of hitting 2,000 followers, so if you guys are new here, please feel free to hit follow on the channel. If you're all early in, I assume you follow anyway. But if you can get everyone else to follow, get a friend or something, it's fine, because when we hit 2k, we are going to run a giveaway. We're not going to give any spoilers on what that is, but we did a decent giveaway at 500 followers and another one at 1,000. We're almost at 2,000, so if you want to help us get to that point, then that would be very, very much appreciated. !2k. Boop. Yay! We're on the road to 2k followers. Once we hit 2k, we'll announce a milestone giveaway. So tell your friends, the sooner we get there, the sooner it starts. Nice. Obviously, that's just for following. If you follow, then there's a good chance that there is a chance that you can win a prize. If you want a better chance of winning a prize, we have the loot drop. So let me just type this. !loot drop. There you go. So the loot drop is a giveaway we do the first Monday of every month for subscribers. It's a subscriber-only giveaway. And this month, if you haven't seen it already, !FIFA 21 is... We're giving a copy away, coffee. Fuck it. We're giving away a copy of FIFA 21 to one subscriber. So if you're a sub, make sure you've subscribed to the channel before the Monday the 2nd. And as well as that, you need to be in the Discord and have your Twitch and Discord accounts linked. If not, Discord won't recognise that you're a sub. If you don't do that, you don't get in. Simple as that. Anyway, all of that. Let's jump back through the chat. As I can see, lots of things happening. Kulan, thank you very much for the 2-month resub. Very, very, very much appreciated, dude. Much appreciated. How are you doing this morning? Good morning to everyone as well. Jumping back. Ian, morning, gents. Nice one, dude. How's things? Gary says, Twitch's very own Backstreet Boys. How's it going, lads? Gary, I just want to say that you are my fire. Oh no, sorry, apologies. The one. Okay. Every time I say that, I have to mention this. Has everyone in the chat seen the Brooklyn Nine-Nine I Want It That Way sketch? If you haven't seen it, Google it. It's the best thing you'll see today. Yeah, 100%.
Did you see the Among Us one? Someone put the Among Us characters with that dub.
I'm fairly sure I have actually seen it. Me and Danielle watched it. yeah, I have seen it. That's good too. It's not quite as good, but it's still a very good spin on it. Thank goodness you're here, says West. I need distraction from spreadsheets. It's all right, we've got all the distractions. It's fine. Good afternoon-ish, gents, says Gagad. Good afternoon. Asim says, I think they're more PJ and Duncan. I'm blind, Dick! Blind! Which one of them got the paintball to the face? It just depends. It depends on the day. It depends on the day. I didn't even realise it was Gary gifting out a sub as well. Thank you very much, Gary. I mean, I feel even better now for Backstreet Boys in you, so I very much appreciated. Cheers, dude. See, we don't have that set up so that it says when someone is gifting. It's only when I look back through the chat that I actually see it. So yeah, we appreciate anyone that does want to gift subs. Obviously, never expected, but always appreciate. Thank you very much. They've animated that scene on Reddit. What the
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Among Us, that's the one. What is it? As in, they've animated it on Among Us. Is that what you mean? How do I link the Discord and the channel? My sub did not get announced, by the way. I did it like 2 days ago. Interesting. Let me quickly see if it's in the creator dashboard, the events. Yeah, I can't see anything. Lake, it's not come through here. I mean, obviously I can see that you're a sub. You've got the badge there, but I can't even see it in Twitch itself. Never mind in Streamlabs. I can't see it in Twitch. Strange. I mean, you're definitely a sub. You've got the sub badge, but I can't see it. But linking your Discord and Twitch accounts. It's been that long since I've done it. I can't remember. Do you remember how to do it, babe?
I do. If you go to the cog on Discord, there's a little bit at the top under user settings called connections.
Tried to announce it, but it cannot. Did you refresh? I mean, you've obviously done it since then, but occasionally it doesn't update as welcome Ellie 2005-22. Thank you very much for the follow. And Gary, not Asim even this time. It's only just refreshed there for Gary's. But Mr. T gifting a sub as well to Craig. Stay frosty, Craig. Thank you very much for the sub, Mr. T. Speaking of Mr. T, as I said yesterday, we obviously spoke about the Halloween content coming to Verdansk. Is it the Nightmare of Verdansk? Because that was the name of it or something.
Yep.
And in true Mr. T fashion, I did say that expected to be playing and expect expletives. I mean, the expletives usually come when he wins, so it's like, yeah, fuck you, yeah. But yesterday it was more of the nervous excitement expletives. He tweeted out a video and then sent me the link to it this morning of him just doing some underground exploring, getting like scare trains and stuff going past. It's like, oh fuck! So you hear Asim jump scare, and then Barry, aka the Midnight Kid from Pez Universe, you hear him come down, and then the same thing. Oh my god, the fucking train's getting the shit out of me. So yeah, go check it out, Mr. @AsimTanvir on Twitter. It was so cool. Do you know? I might even jump in and play it. Probably won't, but I might do. But I probably will. So yeah, appreciate the gifted subs once again. Thank you very much, guys. It means a lot. It means a lot. Craig, if you are here, I'm not sure if you are, but if you are, then please feel free to say thank you. And the same thing to I can't see Gary's got it scrolled off now. To Kulan, obviously, please feel free to say thanks. They may not be here in the channel though, but you guys are. So let's jump into some news. Nice. And one that's close to me. And one that I was discussing yesterday. It was actually West who's in the chat. I was in West's PUBG stream for most of the day yesterday, so I've been speaking about this quite a bit. But if you missed all of that, or if you haven't seen the content, this is actually big news. We often put PUBG content in because it's something I play all the time, but it's usually stuff that gets put in at the end of it. But this is actually quite a significant update and potentially is a sign of things to come, maybe. As this is written by Sherif Saed for VG247. The article says PUBG is finally getting a 60 FPS mode on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. So PUBG players on consoles may finally get to experience the game at frame rates above 30 FPS. The first PUBG Season 9 patch has arrived on the PS4 and Xbox One test servers. The changelog is nearly identical to that of the PC side of things, which we actually covered the other day, including, of course, the new map Paramore. But one big addition, you have to say it like that, by the way, you can't just say Paramore because that's just... but one big addition exclusive... Yeah, exactly, Paramore, mate. But one big addition exclusive to consoles is support for 60 FPS. The frame rate priority option available on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X now supports up to 60 FPS gameplay. This is achieved by dropping the resolution to 1080p, which isn't surprising. PUBG Corp says it will explore bringing the option to the base consoles, though it's not clear how low the resolution would have to be in order to get there. It's also worth keeping in mind that, though this is a welcome upgrade, it doesn't necessarily guarantee the action will sustain 60 FPS at all times. Nevertheless, it's good to see PUBG finally catch up to Apex Legends and Warzone when it comes to how smooth its gameplay feels. Assuming all things go well in testing, the update should be available for all players next week. Nice. Obviously, if there is anyone in the chat that does play PUBG, feel free to drop it in with your thoughts on this. But off the bat, as someone that has played some PUBG, what are your thoughts, Bib?
Well, I don't particularly think that PUBG is a massively pretty game anyway. I don't think it's, compared to a lot of other games graphically, I don't think it's a good looking game. I would much rather have a smoother gameplay, so having the 60 FPS and having to drop the resolution down is an absolute priority for me, because I think it's not the prettiest game. The movement of the character is fucking horrendous more often than not. But the gunplay and the fights and the tactical part of it is pretty much, I think, I mean, I'm just going out on a limb and saying this as a person who doesn't play it as much as you, West, and the rest of the guys that play PUBG all the time. I think that's the reason why they keep on coming back, because the gunplay is good, tactically it's great, some of the maps are okay. So, yeah, I'd much rather have a 60 FPS game where it flows a lot better, the gameplay is a lot smoother, than it being looking great, because this game isn't a great looking game in the first place. In my eyes, I don't think it's a great looking game.
Ferno, just on a bit of a tangent, says, Baby, gives a tune. Baby, gives a tune.
The guitar behind, yeah, that's literally for show. I've tried to play it many times.
Just following on from that, before you start saying no to Ferno, Asim says, Baby, gives a tune. Baby, gives a tune.
Nope.
Okay, following on from that, is Gary says Bibby for X Factor.
As long as I don't have to go on with the guitar, yes.
And then following on from that, not written in the chat, but Graham says, Bibby, gives a tune. Baby, gives a tune. I don't think it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise. I'll teach you, Bibby, all the Oasis numbers. Bit of Wonderwall.
That's it. You could be the Noel, I'll be the Liam. That's all we need. I mean, the lads are on the wall. That could be us. That could be us.
But yeah, I mean, about PUBG being not an attractive game, it's amazing how attractive the game is for me. Because I play on PS4 Pro and it looks okay. It's nice. But when you play it on PC on Ultra, it's amazing just how nice the game looks. And I forget how good it looks. So when you
on PC, it's a different kettle of fish. I agree with that.
So like when we did the Chicken for Charity, so we were involved in the Chicken for Charity stream, obviously organised by Sega in conjunction with PUBG Europe, all for the benefit of special effects. Was that like a month ago nearly now? Something like that?
Yeah.
So we were involved in that. When I say we were involved, we played like 2 games out of the 6. I mean, we played all the games, but we only really played in like 2 out of the 6 games.
If it had gone on, we might have done a little bit better. You know, we were starting to find our rhythm in the back. Well, the golf punt, the back 9. But yeah,
well, exactly. That's it. We started out we went in thinking, oh, we're gonna meme the shit out of this. We're gonna land. We're gonna cross some bridges. We're gonna get some bridge camping going on. It's nice. But then we realised we were playing esports mindset. Circles moves quick, and everyone was like full on game face. We were like, oh shit. So in the first couple of games,
we thought that we was going to be playing people who wasn't that good at the game, like us. Like we were just going to be a load of noobs, and then esports Wales turn up and it's just a load
PUBG
of
Reddit. Yeah, I was speaking to one of the organisers and they're saying, have you got a team? I was like, well, there's at least 2 of us from Jelly that can take part. if we don't have others from Jelly that could jump in, can we get outside people, maybe some content creators or anything like that? And they're like, yeah, as long as they don't play FPS games or PUBG. I was thinking, oh, okay, so they don't want any sort of advantage. And then one of the teams is Esports Wales, which is their competitive PUBG team, and the PUBG Reddit, which is obviously PUBG guys. So we were just we're just sat there like, fuck. So that's why after like game 3, I plugged my controller in and started getting kills because I thought, fuck it, rather than going mouse and keyboard, I'm just gonna play to what I can do now. So I managed to almost single-handedly wipe Overclockers UK. So in your face, Overclockers. But yeah, we're not bitter about it at all. Whatever. PUBG Reddit.
Not at all.
Enjoy your new HyperX keyboards and everything. Whatever, mate.
Just on a side note, West, yes, you are in the loop drop now.
Is
I
it?
see you.
Hey.
I can see your face.
Hey. So you might have a chance at winning FIFA on the platform of your choice, by the way. So obviously, it will be the standard edition rather than whatever the deluxe or champions or whatever edition they call their top one. It will be the standard edition, but if you want it on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, you choose. You could even get it on Switch, but why would you do that? It's the same game as last year. You might as well just get that. Job's good. Yes. So anyway, back into PUBG. Get into 60 FPS. I completely agree because it looks incredible on PC. It doesn't look as good. Even playing on, I mean, it looks better playing it on my PS4 Pro on my 4K TV. I instantly, when I jumped from my old PS4 to my PS4 Pro, as long as I'm not in a smoke grenade, it looks incredible. If I'm in a smoke grenade, it just looks like a blue screen. So there we go. But it looks incredible compared to what it was, but still not a patch on the video clip of Asim running around in an underground train station, getting Billy the Puppet ghosts popping up and shit like that. The graphical fidelity of Warzone is much higher. So like Baby says, completely agree. The fact that they're not pushing to add in more textures, which doesn't really change that much other than immersion, but adding in FPS, so they're focusing on the gameplay. PUBG has never been about being the prettiest game. It's been about the experience, about the unwritten narrative of I'm going to go in and I'm going to get myself a sniper rifle and an assault rifle, and then 5 minutes into the game you're running around with a pistol and thinking, fuck it, it's a 9mm round now then, VSS and an ump or whatever. Ump's not 9mm anymore, but it used to be. Anyway, so that sort of did it used to be 9mm? I can't remember. Anyway, but that sort of mindset of changing your story as you go, and learning to play what is there, playing the cards that you dealt, kind of thing, is good. So pushing 260 FPS, yeah, I'm absolutely excited to see. I have my console. I haven't loaded up PUBG since the update. I don't even know if I've got the PTS installed. I might have deleted it to make space for something else, but I might do that. I might do that this Thursday. I've completely finished the season pass anyway, so I think that's potentially what I'll do for Thursday's PUBG stream tomorrow. That is, so jumping back into the chat, West says, I'm only on an OG Xbox One, so I didn't get to experience the increased frame rate, but watched some other streams and thought it looked great. Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed, West. I mean, I sat there watching your stream all day waiting to see an extra 29 FPS, maybe up to 30 FPS, and it just didn't happen. God. PUBG 60 FPS at 480p. They'd be like the Lego, like Minecraft PUBG at 60 FPS. It's right on my stream as I play on 1080p gaming monitor, so 4K isn't a bother for me. Yeah, I mean, that's it, same. I mean, I have, it's 1080p, like 244 hertz, so my monitor is based on that, like, refresh rate, that many frames per second, giving the clarity of the gameplay from there. Because if you're playing a monitor that's like 24 inches, you don't really need 4K. I mean, you will see some differences, but generally speaking, you don't get the full benefit. You need to be over 30 inches, that's what she said, to get the full benefit, which is what she said again. But yeah, if you're playing on, I mean, I've got two 24.5 inch monitors, and this one I think is a 27, which is too big for where I'm sat. Actually, I'm saying that, I'm pointing at it, you can't even see them. I might as well show you. So yeah, these two are 24.5 inch monitors. This one was my original monitor, which is a 27 inch, which is a bit too big, which is why I changed to these smaller ones. At this size, 4K you don't really need. So I thought, oh, well, I might as well opt for the hertz. So I've gone for 244 hertz monitors, which are kind of overkill in essence, especially when you're playing console gaming. You're playing 30 FPS on a 244 hertz monitor. It's just like, well, there's 214 hertz or whatever that's just gone in the bin. So that having a little bit more of a boost is exciting for me. I am excited for the PS5 though, so that we can. I mean, that's kind of where I would lead this on then. are we playing? Are we seeing 60 FPS updates coming to PUBG now? Because Bibby summed it up in one emoji this morning when we were talking about this update, and that was facepalm. Is like as if they're adding 60 FPS now at the end of a generation, 29 days before the new consoles arrive, and yeah, that is absolute facepalm. But is it that? Are they adding it now? Is it a case of, okay, well, we've put all of the research into getting PUBG onto the next generation? Obviously, PUBG haven't said this. They haven't announced PUBG for PS5 or Xbox Series X yet. Yeah, exactly. So is this something... Okay, what we can announce is the stuff that we have out already. So we can say that we can get up to 60 FPS because we've got technology to do this. Is that a result of technologies that have been worked on already for the next generation? So I think that is fairly likely. The reason it's happening now is because they've just cracked or just ready to roll out their next gen stuff. So this not only gives them a testing point for the current generation, but gives them some data leading into the next generation.
I think it's just giving a nod over to the new gen consoles. I think as well, it's setting your expectations. If you can't play this at 4K 60 FPS on your PlayStation 4 Pro or your Xbox One X, then the likelihood is you're going to be getting the same experience on your PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X when they come out. I think obviously Xbox is like a week before the PlayStation, but I think this is definitely giving a nod over to the new consoles that don't expect to be playing this at 4K 60 FPS on your new console. You're going to be getting 1080 60 FPS just like you can on the PS4 Pro and Xbox One now, which I think is more than acceptable considering how wonky it's been on the current gen consoles for a while. I'd say wonky in terms of I don't think the gameplay is amazing purely because of the frame rates that you drop. If you go through a window and there's a firefight outside, it does look a little bit janky, but having a 60 FPS mode at 1080 is a massive improvement. I'd much rather have a smoother gameplay than a visually stunning one when the game isn't visually stunning in my eyes in the first place.
I mean, I think it will help people like West who are playing on the OG Xboxes as well. I was talking to Pigeon yesterday, the PUBG console streamer who's taking part in the CCL, the Console Carnage League, which is PUBG's console esports activity for Europe. And I was asking how you're getting on with it, and he's like, okay, we're doing okay towards the end of it, but we started off really bad because two of the players in the team are on OG Xboxes, and when we were landing, we were just dropping frames. So this work on FPS, I think will not only get a higher ceiling for those that have better consoles, but for those that are playing on OG Xboxes. I think it has to help those too, because if you're dropping and you're I've seen it on PC. Obviously, you don't get as much data on consoles, but on PC, you can just land and look a certain direction. Say you look west, and your frames just drop because that's the direction where you're looking towards. Say 2 or 3 points that are in the distance that you can't see, but because the game's computing it, you could just see your frames drop because you're looking in a certain direction. How stupid is that? I mean, I won the fight because I was looking east. You lost because you were looking west. What? So yeah, I mean. That's PC stuff, but dropping frames is a big problem if you're playing in competitive stuff and you're dropping frames at the start of a game. So putting the ceiling up to 60 FPS for those that have the better hardware surely will also have some benefits for those that are playing on the lesser hardware, just to help them maintain that lower ceiling. But going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if this 60 FPS 1080p is just setting a baseline for PUBG to start the next gen. But then again, I also wouldn't be surprised if that's just setting a baseline for the next gen for backwards compat. If you're playing PUBG on the next gen, I mean, it's not even backwards compat because they've not announced a PS5 version. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go, okay, you can play 4K 30 FPS, or you can play 1080p and up to 120 FPS. I mean, they do go up to 120 FPS to new consoles, right? I think. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see them push past that. I know that the Xbox Series X did have 120 hertz referenced for some media because it was like 8K 120 hertz ish, but I don't think it was gameplay. I think it was some form of media. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it go further. Jumping back into the chat, Lake says, your account on Twitch has been linked to Discord, so I guess I'm okay now. And Wes says, yup, you're showing up as a Twitch sub on Discord now. Nice. The easiest way to check Lake is there is a channel called Loot Drop If you can see in that, if you're a sub, you get access to the loot drop, and that channel is where we give subscriber perks away, not including the loot drop stuff. That stuff we usually kind of announce that on stream, but we do have. If we get any extra codes for games or any extra beta invites and so on, we tend to drop them in there for subscribers. So if you can see the loot drop, that's enough. You know you're a sub at that point. Salty Dog, morning, dude. Hey, welcome back. I'm convinced the short season is to do with next gen. I mentioned that to Bib when I was talking to him this morning, and that came off the back of that discussion we were having yesterday. West's announcement from PUBG will come around the time of new consoles coming out. How dare you, Bibby? PUBG is perfect in every way. I mean, Bibby thinks PUBG is perfect, and then it could just be one game, and no pun intended on your name or my reference of FPS earlier. One game will just send him west, and then I say, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
I've actually just noticed now in our Discord, West has posted. It looks like he's playing Game Pass on his tablet, and he's playing PUBG on the Game Pass on his tablet. And there is a slight delay moving from left to right. It's like not even a millisecond, but when he lets go of left on the analog stick, his player moves like one more step to the left, which I don't think would be ideal in a game like PUBG. But
is that the new remote play stuff or what? Because I mean that it could be that, because obviously that we were talking about that yesterday. New remote play stuff coming to it. So I mean,
I think it's an Android tablet. It also looks like, I mean, you're probably best looking at that. It does look like an iPad as well.
I can't look at it because I'd have to take you off full screen to go.
Oh yeah. It is what iPad has just said in the comments.
There you go. Nice. Nice. But yeah, the short seasons, so PUBG seasons usually last around, is it 12 weeks ish, something like that. So you've got plenty of time to get to level 100, including a little bit of buffer time for those that might not be able to play every day. But this season is like half the length of that. And there is some other cool stuff in it, which I've kind of been vocal about criticising all things before. If you play Fortnite, you buy the Battle Pass, you have a chance to earn enough V-Bucks to buy your next Battle Pass in the Battle Pass. And PUBG's first season, they have not V-Bucks, they have G-Coin. So PUBG's G-Coin, in the first season, you earn G-Coin as you went. But since then, they've taken that out. You don't get any G-Coin as you go. You don't get enough to buy the next pass, which is greedy, in my opinion. If you're giving it away at first, and everyone else has it as a sustainable mechanism, and you want to keep your audience in, giving them the facility to keep their own buy-in into the game is a really, really good thing for community building and growth. The fact that they took that out is a land grab for me, but there has been notes that if you buy the pass, you can earn enough in the pass to get your next pass, which is really cool. I'd like to see that again. So if that continues, that's good for me. But as well as that, is that a thing that they will stick with? I hope so. If not, it's at least a short-term smart around, okay, you get this short pass now, and then in 6 weeks' time or whatever it is, when the pass finishes, the next pass starts just as the new consoles arrive. So brand new PUBG next gen console, you may not have played it before, and you get the season pass for it. Yay! So even if it isn't something that they will continue with, it's definitely at least a good short-term ploy to get people into playing PUBG and taking the next pass on the next gen. I don't think PUBG will work well with remote play, but single player games should work well. Yeah, that's exactly the same sort of angle that we were discussing yesterday. Because remote play is the latency of your iPad or your smartphone connecting to your console and playing the game. But then if you're playing remote play Game Pass on your console, you will have to latency to your console, and then your console's latency to the server which is playing the game. I mean, remote play uses your Xbox as the server. Game Pass uses a server as a server, and if you're doing that remotely, you have 2 steps of latency. So yeah, Game Pass might not be great. Multiplayer probably won't be great, but single player stuff and stuff that requires no timed inputs, so stuff like Football Manager, things like that, would be absolutely perfect. Anything spreadsheet-ish, then yeah, absolutely, you can play that remote play on Game Pass, it's fine. But anyway, let's move ahead. Speaking of new technologies and cloud gaming, we're talking about the Game Pass. We're talking about xCloud and so on like that. I was saying Game Pass then. I meant xCloud when we're talking about that in terms of the latency. But enough of Microsoft's cloud gaming. Let's jump onto Amazon's cloud gaming stuff. We have mentioned it previously. This is Luna we're talking about. Written by Tom Ivan for VGC. Amazon is sending out free trial invites for its cloud gaming service, Luna. It will then cost $5.99 per month during an early access period. So Amazon, has begun distributing free trial invites for its new cloud gaming service, Luna. Announced in September, the Stadia and xCloud rival is powered by the Amazon Web Service infrastructure and will allow users to stream games at up to 4K 60 FPS on PC, Mac, Fire TV and iOS devices with Android to follow. Luna will offer a library of games behind a subscription service, plus Twitch integration and support for a $49.99 Luna game controller. Releasing this month, the controller is Alexa enabled and connects directly to the cloud for lower latency gaming, according to Amazon. Some players who requested early access to Luna are now receiving invites to sign up for a free 7-day trial, after which they'll be charged an introductory price of $5.99 per month. The service currently supports streams up to 1080p 60 FPS. Luna users will be able to subscribe to various paid channels offering access to their own game libraries. For example, the Luna Plus game channel, which is included in the base subscription, will include titles such as Resident Evil 7, Control, Panzer Dragoon, A Plague Tale Innocence, The Surge 2, Yooka-Laylee, and The Impossible Lair, Iconoclasts, Grid, Abzu, and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. So far, Amazon has announced one additional Luna channel for publisher Ubisoft. Players who subscribe to this channel will have access to Ubisoft titles, including new releases like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Immortals Phoenix Rising the same day they release. That still triggers me, that title. Immortals Phoenix Rising without a colon in the middle. Colon?
Colon?
Yeah, it's one of them. So you'll have access to those titles the same day they release. Inside the Luna experience, players will see Twitch streams for the games in the service, and from Twitch, they'll be able to instantly start playing Luna titles. Users can play games with a keyboard and a mouse, a Bluetooth game controller, or the Luna controller, which is absolutely 100% not an amalgamation of a Switch Pro controller and Microsoft Xbox Series S controller. It's not. It's really not. But it is. But it's not. So Luna. Invites. Thoughts. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole channel, sort of setup? Do you fully understand that? I mean, I did when I first read through the article in September, and I've now forgotten the majority of it. So I'm trying to wrap my head around that again.
So the Luna channel itself will feature a whole host of games from all developers. Then developers can have the option to be able to have channels in there. So Ubisoft one, for instance. So the Luna one will cost you at launch £4.99, and then if you wanted to play any Ubisoft games which won't be included in Luna Plus, you have to buy the the Ubisoft channel, which may incur further costs. So say the Luna Plus is £5, the Ubisoft one may be £3. So your subscription then will have 2 different channels of games for £8 a month. Then, for instance, if Capcom wanted to do it and take out Resident Evil from the Luna Plus one, and then they wanted to release all of their games, including Street Fighter, all the Resident Evil titles, Dino Crisis, if it ever comes back out, they want to charge £3 for their collection. It'll get topped up on top of that, so then it'll end up costing you like £11. So it's just a way for them to be able to try and monetize their own games rather than having a very small monetization model inside Luna. That is what I've kind of worked out for myself, because it is very vague when it comes to what it is that they want to do. But taking all the other business models that are a subscription service, that is what I've made of it myself. However, I've actually tried to sign up to this morning, and it's only available in the US. So fuck you, man.
Fuck this shit, I'm mad. Yeah, it's the use of the word channel. The fact that it's integrated with Twitch and it's owned by Amazon. The fact that they call it channels is probably not the greatest phrase for me, because it's essentially saying you're getting access to a publisher's catalogue of games and they're calling that a channel, whereas channel has been used for a million other things, usually content creation services, not something that you are interacting with.
Mention a word there that would have been so much better for them to be able to use.
What's that?
You used a word then that would have been so much better for them to be able to use rather than the word channel.
What, catalogue?
Yep.
Exactly. Bosh, there you go.
Exactly what it says on the tin, innit? You know what I mean? You know what you're getting from that.
Yeah, I'm not. Let me just jump back through the chat and catch up before I share my points. Asim says, Luna, I hear Amazon are over the moon with this. Hey. Honestly, yeah, that pun about Luna. You've got to love good puns. Luna love good Harry Potter. Just saying. /ban Tassimanvia. We need to get that set up as a command. Just exclamation mark Tassim. How have they managed to get through iOS when Stadia and Xbox couldn't? I mean, Xbox did with xCloud when it was in testing, and this is still in early access, so you might get the same thing. iOS and Apple might go, yeah, have a go, have at it, fill your boots, so that they build up a demand.
Did xCloud eventually come onto iOS though? Because that's the whole heebie-jeebie thing, isn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, that's the one that I tried to get onto, but the link sent me to some sort of American website, and Asim said, no, use the European one, change the URL, and it'll work. And that, I never got into it, but that was a test service that was fine and ran on iOS. I think it only actually gave you like Halo, the Master Chief Collection, or something like that as the games that you could play using xCloud. But Apple were like, yeah, whilst it's in test, in beta, in early access, fine, fill your boots. You want to go live with it? Yeah, sorry, what we meant is no. That's what we meant to say. We said yes, but we meant no. So,
what's the app that's stopping it from going on to? Is it just the Games Pass app itself not going onto iOS?
Yeah,
that's why they use the remote play.
Yeah, you can't get the Game Pass app because Game Pass lets you go in and then lets you go out to content that hasn't been verified by Apple. So if you go in and play Halo Master Chief Collection and Forza and whatever, they want each one of those games to be added to the App Store as a separate purchase and separate rated item. Which means that it's not a Microsoft thing. Microsoft need to go to Ubisoft and say, okay, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Origins, every other Assassin's Creed out of the 7,000 you've made, they all need to be put onto the store so we can have them on Game Pass. And then that's when Ubisoft go, well, that's a lot of work, so fuck off. No, you're all right. Cheers, mate. So, yeah. I mean, and then how do you get them on the store? Because these aren't mobile games, these are console games. How do they get them on the store as individual items and rated? It's not possible. So yeah, other than the test in beta, it doesn't exist. Apple have blocked it. You'd have to be a lunatic to not get involved with that. Hey, so it's like Sky/cable with a base package, then just add sports and movies, which is fine. I understand that concept. But that's when I'm starting to think about how expensive is this going to be? £5.99, okay, £6 a month is another subscription package. Bearing in mind you're paying for PS Plus and your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Live Cloud subscription or whatever it's called now, and your Netflix and your Amazon Prime and your Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus. So you're spending $5.99 on this for now. That's a special introductory price. What does that go up to? $10.99? $14.99? And then you spend another $6.99 to get access to Ubisoft's channel. What if I want to play PUBG as my main game? Assassin's Creed Valhalla comes out as well. I want to play that. And then Cyberpunk's coming out at launch as well, so I want to play that. Do I have to then subscribe to the CD Projekt Red channel? Are they £6 every time that keeps coming every month? And suddenly that $5.99 fee. The point of a subscription package is you don't spend a shitload of money at once. The subscription comes from that's a morph from one of the most successful Pirates. Thank you very much for the host, dude. Welcome in. Subscription, to give you a different example, not in video games, the Dollar Shave Club, that was one of the first successful subscription packages out there. So basically you buy razors and Pirate, thank you for
hope you all good, much love.
I hope you all good, much love. 12 months now, Pirate, that's a whole year. Yeah.
1 year.
Happy anniversary. Happy ice cream birthday, mate.
Thank you, babe.
But yeah, Dollar Shave Club was like, okay, you spend £8 every few months or whatever it is on your refill packs for your razors. you spend $1 for us, and we will send you new razors every month, and you get all this stuff. And they basically changed it so that you end up spending more, but it's more pocketable. You don't have to spend £8 or 15 quid or whatever it costs for your razor blades. You just spend that extra dollar that you don't even think about every month, and you get it. You don't even have to leave the house, and that's where it comes from. The convenience to put it right there and spending less but more overall in general. Okay, that works, I get it. But Amazon have gone, actually, we'll give you the convenience, but you'll spend more this month than you ever would in one single go. But then do that every month. And it's like, what the fuck? That doesn't work. Spending 15 quid to get on, potentially, and then another 5 quid to get Ubisoft, another 5 quid to get EA, another 5 quid to get Konami's games, another 5 quid to get Capcom's games, another 5 quid to get Bandai Namco's games, another 5 quid to get Kojima Productions, another... And it's like, fuck, okay, suddenly I'm remortgaging just to be able to play on Luna's system. So... I don't know. They've got to have some sort of... I mean, how does that work? Mix and match packages? So buy 3 channels, access to 3 channels, subscribe to 3 channels for tenner or something like that a month. So you can choose, okay, this month I want to subscribe to Konami because PES is coming out, EA because FIFA's coming out, and Kojima Productions because Death Stranding's coming out. That's obviously last year. But could you do it like that, and then next month go actually untick Konami because I've played PES now, untick EA because I've deleted FIFA and hate it, so let's play PUBG again and let's go for some Resident Evil this month. I mean, that kind of stuff maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It just sounds clunky to me from that sort of sense. Because like, I mean, let's go back in again. So you get access to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Immortals Phoenix Rising. It's probably not the greatest example for the point that I was going to make, because I do actually like the look of all 3 of those games. But what if I just liked Immortals Phoenix Rising, because it's got that Legend of Zelda feel to it? I don't give a shit about Assassin's Creed or Far Cry, because I played them, each one of them 1,000 times, and they've never floated my boat. I'm spending money to subscribe to this channel to give me all these games, but only want one of them. It's just extra clunkiness potentially. I mean, without knowing more about how it's going to work, I'm not sure.
I mean, if it's cheap enough, I think it's going to be worth it. If it's cheap enough long term, because if the only other way that they could do it is like a rental model, and I don't think that works either. So you could rent a game for three quid a month or whatever, but I'd much rather pay the extra £2 to be able to play potentially 40 games. But I mean, if I had this between this and the Xbox Game Pass, there's absolutely no competition. If I could get Xbox Game Pass on my Fire Stick TV, then that would the Luna wouldn't exist, and I think that's probably the reason why we haven't had it or will get it on the Fire Stick. I've got Fire Sticks in every room in the house now, so that would be amazing for me to be able to finish playing on my PC here and then think, fuck it, I'm going to play the rest of Halo in bed, or go downstairs into the front room and finish it down there, or play it on my mobile phone, or on my dinner time in the office on my mobile phone or my tablet. That would be amazing to be able to have the ability to do that everywhere, but there's a reason why they're not doing that, and it's because they've got a competition with the likes of Luna. With the likes of Game Pass from the Luna standpoint. But yeah, I do agree with that. It just the one thing that screams out for everyone at the moment is they're trying to copy the Xbox Game Pass model because it is the most successful one, because of the quality of games and the price that it is.
It almost seems like they're trying to evolve the model, but I'm not sure about the direction, because you've got the Luna Plus game channel, which is their main channel. You subscribe to the service and you will get access to Resident Evil 7, Control, Panzer Dragoon, and all the rest of the games that were in that list. So what titles are going to be on Luna Plus? Is that where we get the big games? Is Cyberpunk 2077, for example, in an ideal world, if it's all up and running, will that release, a major release, is that going to be on the Luna Plus game channel? Or is that going to be on the CD Projekt Red channel? Because if it's not on the CD Projekt Red channel, what is on that? Is that just their older stuff? I mean, the fact that Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Immortals Phoenix Rising, 3 new releases, each being added to the Ubisoft channel, should be a catalogue, not channel, added to the Ubisoft channel on their release day. What is the point in the Luna Plus game channel? Is that just older stuff? Why am I spending my money and getting access to older stuff? Do I need to spend that? Can I not just pay for the Ubisoft channel then and get Assassin's Creed Far Cry 6 and Immortals Phoenix Rising? Because I'm not going to play Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. I don't want Iconoclasts, so I'm not asked. Can I just pay for that one? It seems clunky. It seems a complex payment. Game Pass. Do I have to rent pay? Can I cut off chunks of my payment and not have certain ones, or can I add an extra couple of quid on to get more games? No, actually, Game Pass, it's just one fee, and you get all the games, all of them that are on Game Pass, and it doesn't matter what way you're playing them, you get them across it all. I mean, obviously, it's not quite the same because some aren't on PC, but that's simple, really simple, easy to digest marketing, and you don't have the scary thing that comes with it. I mean, the reason mobile phone contracts took off in the UK is because we had pay as you go. I know most people don't have pay as you go anymore, but that's what got people in. People were scared of the open-ended bills that mobile contracts can come with. I know it's going to probably cost me 15, 20 quid, but the fact that it could cost me 700 quid is scary. Okay, pay as you go. You just put 15 quid on. If you spend it all, you can't go anymore. Nice! And that's kind of the idea of Game Pass. You can't go above. If you play shitloads of Football Manager, you're not going to go, I'm sorry, mate, overtime charges. We only thought you were going to do 2 seasons, and you actually did 27, sat there in your underpants. So, sorry, mate, you have to pay more. It doesn't work like that. Whereas this, okay, I want to play games, but I want to try that other game. I want to add a new game, and before you know it, it's almost like in-game purchases, but it's in-console purchases. I've bought the extra channels and so on, and suddenly that $5.99 that they're talking about, you could be spending $59.99 a month every month. Yeah, you're getting more games than you would be if you were buying one game a month, but I'm not sure about it. It just doesn't. It sounds bloated and confusing to me. Let's see what you guys think. Where did we get to? It's crazy that they called it a channel. It should be classed as a catalogue. Absolute lunacy. Yeah. I've infected Gary. Sorry, everyone. Most of the games are on Game Pass from the look of the screenshot you shared. Yeah, I think that will be the case. You'll probably get a lot of that when it comes to any Game Pass likes. So if PlayStation's like, I mean, they had, what did they call it? The PlayStation Plus Collection or whatever it was, which was just PlayStation games. Obviously, that gives them a bit of an exclusive sort of thing. But
PlayStation Now?
No, the PlayStation Plus Collection, which was announced, where if you get PlayStation Plus, you get access to the PlayStation Plus Collection on the next gen. So you get access to Uncharted 4, The Last of Us Part 1, Spider-Man, and other games like that. Big games like God of War and things. All of the big games of the last generation, you get access to all of those. It's like put into your PS Plus library. So that's kind of their first step towards that, but that's just included as part of your PS Plus membership. But if they started to go down that line, once you get past the PlayStation stuff, you would get a lot of the third-party titles, like the Resident Evils, like the Assassin's Creeds and so on. They will be on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus Collection and Luna Plus or whatever. So yeah, you'd get a lot of crossover there, definitely. Stadia, Luna, all these services don't particularly interest me in their current forms. Xbox's solution is better, giving me the option of cloud gaming within a more traditional structure. Plus, I want my games to look and play the best they can. A sole cloud gaming option doesn't offer that right now. Not that I've seen anyway. I agree. I very much agree, Mr. T. Morning, Spike! I'll read it. He says, I just don't want games on my console. I don't want any form... I just want games on my console. I don't want any form of streaming. It's bad enough having lagging multiplayer games without having it in single player. Do you know, I agree with that. I feel like that is something that will be irrelevant, but it's still not irrelevant now. We are getting to the point where, I mean, multiplayer didn't used to be a thing, and now it is mostly. Obviously, you do get lag in it, but mostly it's fine. We will get to the point where single player is fine, but yeah, at the moment we're not there, which is why Stadia is a shit show. We bought into Google's hype, and it's not what it's supposed to be. The fact that Google look like they're giving up on Stadia already speaks volumes about how it's going. I mean, that's the thing. Do they look like they're giving up on it? Because they didn't look like they really backed it ever, so I can't tell. They're just kind of like, oh, this amazing thing's coming, and then it came out, and then their next update on a brand new console was like, what was it? We covered it. Was it like 6 weeks later before they updated something? And it was that Grace on the Reddit or one of their forums just giving information in response to someone. So yeah, you can't tell if they're giving up because it didn't seem like they ever really started. So I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, innit? Like, this, in hindsight, I was looking forward to what Stadia could potentially open up down the line. Like, I do like the fact that I can potentially play my games anywhere. It was always how the execution was going to be done, and that's where the fear was. Like, it just shows that All I was interested in about was shifting units, and the shifting units, whether or not that would be the new Chromecast, the controller itself, the infrastructure and everything that they claimed to be there wasn't there, and it was dead on arrival. It doesn't look like it's still getting the TLC that I think it probably deserved. With a name like Google, you think they would be able to try and pull a finger out their ass, and they'd have people in positions where they're able to have some sort of influence as to try and bring this product to the masses with a good, reliable streaming uh, infrastructure, because that's essentially what it is. Fair enough, it's not like watching a film because the film is already pre-recorded, the ending is predetermined, everything is there for you. It's a 1.5 gigabyte file that's being streamed from somewhere to you.
Yeah,
it has no
one
input whatsoever.
Straightforward path, start to end.
Yeah. So there's no other button apart from pause and stop. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you can go up, down, left.
Lies! You can rewind and fast forward too.
So the outcome of those is already predetermined, so that's a little bit easier to get your head around. However, the button input, if you've got a game and you've got button delay, there's a problem. Like the game is nearly impossible to play, and that seemed to be the case for every single game, regardless of whether or not it was a multiplayer or a single player experience. It obviously catered to the people who had amazing internet. My internet is more than good enough to be able to play games on my PC and stream them at 1080 with absolutely no problems whatsoever. Yeah, it was incredibly difficult for me to be able to play any kind of games over the internet.
On Stadia,
So
yeah.
it's one of them things I wish it would have been able to get done better. What are Amazon going to do better than Google? That is ultimately where we're at.
I mean, Gary's finishing his comment. It says, going back to what they could do better than Google. Gary said, their new Chromecast, which they own, doesn't support Stadia by app until mid-2021, which is insane if you think about it. It is. So we have a Google Stadia Founders Edition. I mention this every time because I feel it qualifies us for the rant. We invested in Stadia before it came out. We bought into the hype as ice cream. We bought two. We bought two. Two Founders Editions, and shit, absolutely shit. It hasn't delivered on any sense of it. But we got that a year ago. I mean, was it October or November last year it came out? So either way, we got that. Let's say it was a year ago. It's either 11 or 12 months. So we'll say we got it a year ago, and the app isn't coming out for Chromecast until next year. So 18 months before they start to roll their service out is ridiculous on their own platforms, not on other platforms. It's not trying to get a deal brokered with iOS or anything like that. This is to get it onto their own hardware. It's just not good enough. That's not good enough. Salty Dog says, as a collector of old game, I'm sad the second-hand market for future games is almost non-existent, or will be. Yeah, well, this guy can talk to you about that for hours. This is the person that just will be like, oh, do you know what? I can't wait for payday. And then he'll go out and he'll come back and he's like, do you know what I've just bought? This is football. It's like nobody bought This Is Football anyway. Or what was the Ubisoft one with Steven Gerrard on the cover? Was it like Pure Football or something?
Oh, Pure Football, mate. Yeah. Pure Football.
No.
What a bag of shit that one was. Did I finish it up? Yes, I fucking did. I think I picked it up for like £8 from Asda when it came out. It didn't do very well.
But there you go. I mean, if you subscribe to Luna and you get the Ubisoft channel, maybe Pure Football will be on there one day. Yeah. Spike says, I think Google didn't get the huge hype they wanted from the gamers, and that killed it before it even went anywhere. I think there is a little bit of that, but I think it's almost kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They didn't get the hype, so they didn't kind of push with it. And because they didn't get the hype, they didn't get the brand support. But they also weren't... You almost, in business, there's a phrase that I use all the time called fake it till you make it. Excuse me a second. Fake it till you make it is by saying, oh, do you know what? Can we play on the United football pitch? Because we've got Real Madrid interested and they want to play as well. And United going, oh, if Real Madrid are interested, then yeah, of course you can have the football pitch. And then you go to Real Madrid and go, oh, United have got a football pitch for a game. Do you guys want to play in it? And Real Madrid go, if it's at Old Trafford, then yeah, of course, mate, we'll do that. And you didn't have either before, but now you have both. Not that brands that big should be lying to get shit on board, because if it collapses, you just look like a fool. But they didn't even have that sort of stuff in it. So the gamers didn't come because they didn't really have anything. They had Red Dead Redemption 2 advertised at launch, which then was delayed, and they had nothing then. They didn't build in anything. It was almost like, one game will be enough, yes! And it's like, that's one game is never enough for a gamer. It isn't. Gamers always like to complain that there's too many games, but if you want to give them one game, they're not happy. So that was the thing, is they didn't have enough there. So the gamers didn't come because they didn't do enough. And because they didn't do enough, the gamers didn't come. And it was kind of like catch-22 in that sort of sense. So they kind of needed to put their money where their mouth is to get the gamers, which then gives them more reason to put more money where their mouth is, and that spiral kind of there. I still use pay-as-you-go. I only top up about once a year. The amount of sales calls I get from O2 is ridiculous. Wanted me to jump to a tariff that's £15 a month compared to the £10 a year. Yeah, but it's £15 a month, and you get minutes and data and everything. Yeah, mate, I literally spend time out of year and I get all of that. Yeah, but £15 a month, mate. No. Boo.
Yeah.
Phil Harrison, the top dog at Stadia, loves a good flip-flop between gaming companies. I think the only one he hasn't worked for is Nintendo. I mean, that was the thing. Like, Stadia sounded like they were pulling out the stops. They were pulling staff from everywhere, and then they just clearly everyone behind them had absolutely no games experience. The fact that simple stuff like achievements and trophies and stuff, it's like, yeah, that's not going to come until a year into it. It's like, there is no achievements or trophies. I don't play, I'm not an achievement hunter, I'm not a trophy hunter, but there are channels out there on YouTube with millions of subscribers because it's something that's hugely desired. I mean, Epic got absolutely slated for starting without that sort of stuff, and Steam had it. That's a good starting point. You look at that and say, if Epic are getting slated for not delivering what Steam can deliver, yeah, they've scaled up, and Epic's a really good service now in that sense. But they were slated at first, and Epic had to absolutely bite the bullet and buy GTA for an exclusivity period to give it away for a good chunk of time, to buy Psyonix so they can have Rocket League on their service, and these big costly decisions is then putting their money where their mouth is. Google just went, I think you'll find, look at the name badge, that says Google. Yeah. Do you want to play it? No. Why not? I mean, it says the name badge. Look at the name badge. It says Google. Why are you playing your Switch? Why is everyone fighting over Switches when they're not in stock? When you can just buy the new controller from Google? And it's like, Google. I can point at the name again if you want. It says Google. Do you know what it's made by? Yeah, that's all you've got. Beyond that, there's nothing else. So yeah, they didn't invest enough. They got a good senior team, but just had nothing beyond that. So yeah, Phil Harrison will be. You see now how well Switches have sold this year. So yeah, he'll jump over there. Hey. That's the key thing what Bibi mentioned there, says Asim, infrastructure. Stadia, Google, thought it would be easy to do, having little to no experience in the gaming space. It took Xbox years to get to the point they're at. No surprise where their cloud gaming solution is the best. Years of knowledge and experience to set up related infrastructure. West says, I know a few people who used it for PUBG, but all moved to Xbox in the end. xCloud will help shut Stadia down once it's properly up and running. Gary says, I love This Is Football.
Who doesn't? It doesn't.
But yeah, that infrastructure stuff. I mean, that and we spoke about it not for a while because we kind of buried Stadia for the time being and not really dug it up. Apart from days like this where we dig it up just to slap it in the face and then put it back in the ground again. Stadia's biggest issue was no mention of what xCloud has had and what Luna is. So Luna is. What is the actual phrasing of it? Yeah, some players who requested early access are now receiving invites. So that's it. You are invited to play in early access. You have an introductory price and all that sort of stuff. Google kind of learned that too late. Yeah, it's gonna be fucking amazing. Play the games on the go with a stick and 4Ks and stuff. It's wonderful. It's gonna be really good. And then it launches and it's like, shit. What we meant was we're just scaling it up, and it's like, no, you've already said it's a finished product now. As there was an image that David shared at the time, like chocolate. Not Chocolate Thunder. What was it? Tropic Thunder or whatever is the film, and it's like you went.
Amazing film.
But the thing with Google at the time, people were sharing images saying you went full retail. You should never go full retail, and that's what it was. They didn't have the early access. They didn't have the grace period. PUBG got away with being shit for so long because it was early access before they got to version 1 with the main major release. That's fine. Escape from Tarkov, early access. for ages. Scum, early access for ages. Some of them survive, some of them don't. But if you're in that period, you get the grace period. The community like to be involved with that. But there was none of that. It was, this is a fully fledged launch. We don't care. We're not going to listen. We're not going to take your advice on board because we know what we're doing. And it just didn't work.
Well, fucking DayZ's been in early access for about 6 years and it's still shit.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was good. So to start mentioning the games, I knew you were going to...
It's my go-to reference, do you know what I mean?
David says, the thing I like about today's two-player games compared to the older consoles is you're no longer in thumping distance if you brag to someone who is hyper-competitive when you win after losing 50 games. Yeah, that's me and David. Anyway, let's put a pin in Amazon's cloud gaming service before they put a pin in it and deflate it at some point, no doubt, if they carry on with that heavy, bloated plan. We'll jump into the next story. So going back to Xbox-ish, Monster Energy is giving away free copies of Halo 5. US residents can register for a free download. This is written by Andy Robinson at VGC. Monster Energy is offering a copy of Xbox One title Halo 5 to those who create an account for its new Halo Infinite promotion. The offer, which is officially only open to US residents, requires users to open an account at www.monster-halo.com. After which they should receive a redemption code for Halo 5 via email. The promotion limits downloads to one per person. It was recently confirmed that Monster Energy's long-planned Halo promotion is going ahead despite Halo Infinite's delay into 2021. Between September the 1st and December 31st, 2020, fans who purchase limited edition Monster Energy cans will be able to bank 30-minute double XP boosts for when the game releases next year. Via Monster Packs, fans will also be able to unlock access to a Halo Infinite Snapchat filter, and those who complete 3 monthly Snapchat challenges will then gain access to exclusive Halo Infinite cosmetic items, including weapon coatings and emblems, which will also be available via separate promotions at US retailers Walmart, Maya, and others. I'm assuming that's what it says. Partnerships like this don't happen overnight, and this one has been in the works for a long time. Marketing lead Michael Wolff wrote on Xbox.com in August, while Halo Infinite has been delayed to 2021, we are excited to share that our partnership with Monster Energy will bring together our iconic global brands across the US, Canada, Mexico, and Europe to celebrate the launch of Halo Infinite in 2021. And even offers a sneak peek at some exclusive new Halo Infinite multiplayer items. Microsoft confirmed that Halo Infinite had been delayed into next year earlier this month. We don't need to read the rest of it, but I mean, the gist of that, what they're saying is the Halo Infinite stuff is still coming with Monster Energy this year, even though the game has been delayed, because we've made it and it's going to go out of date. That's what they're saying.
yeah, essentially that. Yeah.
I mean,
I've been seeing this packaging for the longest time in Asda. That you can buy like the XP ones, but yeah, I didn't actually read the can. I just seen Halo was on the front of it.
What's that coming over the Halo 5? It's the creative monster. It's the creative monster, says Asim. Not even sorry.
I mean, I appreciated that, and it's not very often that I appreciate an Asim joke. So, GG, you got my approval.
I mean, this is an interesting one. Giving away a big game like Halo, is that because they expect everyone to have it already on Game Pass anyway, so they don't mind giving it away for free? Because that's
I would say so.
Imagine The Last of Us, Sony going, yeah, you could buy The Last of Us, a game that's there big enough to sell consoles, but just buy yourself a can of pop. Get yourself some Vimto, jobs are good un. Last of Us Vimto cans. Bosh, yeah. It's like, well, why would I spend 50 quid when I can get one can of Vimto? What's this about? Or a multi-pack of Vimto? It just seems bizarre, but that's the benefit of having something like Game Pass, because you almost can write it off for the majority of users. Most people are going to have Game Pass if they have an Xbox. So you're kind of not really giving anything away. It's false pretenses. Yeah, this thing that you own is free. It's like, oh, nice. Yeah, it's free. I don't have to pay for it. Yeah, you don't have to pay for it, and you already own it. Yeah, what? No, never mind. It's free. Okay, nice. It's kind of like that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's not good that it's only open to US, but do you know what? You've got it anyway, so what does it matter? It's fine. It's fine. That's a monster partnership if you love Halo, says Gary. Sick, Asim Tanvir, says Gary, and Asim says, sick, we're not in Japan, mate. Hey, sake. Okay, let's move ahead. That's a nice short story. A short story. Whilst we've got Asim in here, we're going to all jump on Asim and attack him because Asim works at 2K. But nice resolution from yesterday's massive outrage that 2K absolutely shit on themselves with. I mean, they didn't really, but that's kind of the way that we were led to believe it by the articles. But 2K apologised for the way unskippable ads were implemented in NBA 2K21, not the ads themselves. Which is what I'd said. Anyway, like last year's game, written by Sherif Saed, VG247. Like last year's game, NBA 2K21 has unskippable ads, but now 2K Games is vowing to fix it. Update: 2K Games has today. Actually, let's start with the original. Sorry, then we'll jump back up. NBA 2K21 players were surprised to recently find the game is able to play unskippable ads. The ads show during loading, they'll only last about as long as the loading screen itself, which kind of contradicts some of the messaging we heard yesterday, that they were actually extended loading screens, so that's not too bad in that sense. But anyway, a number of Reddit users reported the issue this morning, sharing their dismay that ads exist in all premium at all in a premium $60 game that's already stuffed to the brim with microtransactions. Steve Ivor verified that the ads play on all platforms across PC, PS4, Xbox One. The ad the site got was one for the Oculus Quest 2 VR headset. It played before Episode 7 of the My Team Season 2, an in-game TV show that plays before the match. Players have to wait for the ad to finish before they can press continue and get on. If you're thinking, this sounds familiar, it's because 2K Games also added unskippable ads with NBA 2K20, last year's game, sometime after launch. Indeed, EA also tried a similar move with UFC 4 just last month, before the publisher was forced to pull the ads in response to some very negative feedback. Their implementation in UFC 4 was arguably worse, given how they played during in-match replays. For now, it looks like business as usual for NBA 2K and its players, however favourable the move may be. Anyway, back up to the update. 2K Games has today issued a statement addressing the negative press NBA 2K21 has been receiving over the past few days as more and more players run into the game's unskippable ads which play before episodes of the in-game 2K TV episodes. According to the publisher, the way ads were implemented was the problem, not the ads themselves. Nevertheless, 2K Games vowed to fix the issue with future 2K TV episodes. As many are aware, in recent years, ads have been integrated into 2K TV segments. Yesterday's 2K TV ad placement impacted our players' experience in a way we didn't intend, as these ads are not meant to run as part of the pre-game introduction. This will be fixed in future episodes. Thanks for your continued feedback, reads an official statement. You can find the original story below. I know, thanks, we found it already. Cheers, mate. So thoughts. Oh, so that thoughts he's done it. He's not interested. He's left us. Thoughts, babe? No, mate. I've got no thoughts. What do you guys think? Asim says, all the outrage. Gary says, 2K have had enough of all the outrage. Hey, Abdul, with a very easy to say name, 1236789. You're missing 4 and 5, mate. But welcome to the stream. How's things, dude? Hey, hello, hello. If the ads make the games better in the long run, do people care? I mean, that's the point. That's the point. I mean, the bit we said yesterday, the gist we said is over-the-top adverts that you can't skip that break immersion or take you out of the game or make you sit there for longer in a game that you played full price for is not good for a consumer. It's bad. That's a bad thing, and we shouldn't accept that. But advertising in a natural environment can add to the whole relativity of the game. So if it's done right, it's not bad. And it seems like, yeah, like they've said, having the ads isn't the issue, it's the way that they've been implemented. So it seems like they agree with that too. Asim says, I wonder if Youngye will make a video about this. Oh, of course not. It's not hitting on a negative agenda. I mean, that's the thing. Youngye Young Out is a really good creator if he's fighting your fight. But if your fight is completely at loggerheads with what he wants, then you see straight through it. And I remember seeing Youngye making some amazing Metal Gear stuff, but then when the whole Konami Kojima situation started happening, then you realise that Youngye, he wasn't making the content for the gamers, he was making the content for the clicks, and you're like, oh, that's when it's horribly apparent then. But yeah, that's the same thing with news. Unfortunately, it's all about the clicks. Gary says, yeah, that will never happen, unfortunately. He should do an update, but like I say, it doesn't fit the negativity. It's the same thing in broadsheets. The Sun, the rag, could publish an article based on one thing. Front page spread, Bibby is a massive willy. And then it's like, oh, actually, sorry, we got the facts wrong. Bibby only is a tiny ruler. Sorry. We just magnifying glasses and that the internet. So, but they don't put that on the front page. What they do is they go to page 27 and have it in a real little bit, small bit in the side, and that's only when they have to. It's shit that people don't fix their issues in that sense. I mean, 2K have done it. Why won't everyone else? Because it's not. People don't want the happy resolution. They just want to remain disgruntled. Gagad says, I go and grab a glass of water and we're back on advert morning again. Yeah, this is an update on it, that's why, Gagad. 2K has apologised for the unskippable ads, the way that they were implemented. Not necessarily the ads themselves, but the way that they were implemented, and that will change going forward. So it's just catching up on that. So this is an update to that story. But it's fine. It's all right, chill out, mate. Calm down. We're going to move on. Final story of the day. Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle is a 64-player battle royale game that's first on Stadia, and there's a demo available now, written by Matt Wales at Eurogamer. As if one retro-inspired 64-player battle royale adaptation wasn't enough for Stadia users to be getting on with, a second will soon be making its way to the streaming service in the form of Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle, and there's a demo available now. Developed by Bandai Namco and Heavy Iron Studios, Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle is a 64-player battle royale experience in which chomp-mouthed participants attempt to be the last Pac-Man standing across 64 vibrantly themed interconnected mazes. Invade other players' mazes, eat their dots and power-ups, even other players, and dominate the mazes is how Google pitches the new multiplayer adaptation in its announcement post. But watch out! Viewers can vote on power-ups that can cause you or your opponents to stumble on the field and be eliminated from battle. Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle will feature 2 distinct modes of play, new power-ups, plus various cosmetic options for those eager to personalise their Pac people. And at least some of these things are visible in the rather catchily soundtracked announcement trailer above, which we can't see. Mega Tunnel Battle is one of those first on Stadia deals and will join the service on 17th of November. You're enjoying yourself there, costing around 15 quid. And however, those eager to try it before they buy are in luck thanks to a new limited time demo available today until the 27th of October. The demo is part of a 3-day Stadia event, which will see 2 more limited time demos being made available to players from tomorrow, 21st of October. Stadia users can take Amplitude Studios' intriguing historical 4X effort, Humankind, for a spin, and there's an Immortals Phoenix Rising demo coming to the streaming service on Thursday, 22nd of October. You ready to get Pac-Man up, babe? What are you chuckling at?
It is literally the first comment at the very bottom. Pac-Man multiplayer is a perfect Stadia exclusive, seeing no Stadia is online is a ghost town.
That's incredible. Oh, GG that guy.
He proper caught me off guard, that. To be fair, I mean, a Pac-Man Battle Royale, there isn't a game that they haven't done it with yet. I thought the Tetris one would be super shit, but the Tetris one is actually a lot of fun, and it probably is one of the most stressful, I'll say, battle royales that there is. The Tetris one, that is. You think I'm really good at Tetris. You think I've played Tetris all my life, and then you get into that and you haven't played Tetris. Like, it's a completely different game. Like, how fast it is, and everybody else being able to throw all their Tetris lines on top of yours. It's so difficult, and I imagine this would be the same thing if you are an avid, we'll go with that instead, Pac-Man fan, then this might be something that tickles your fancy. It's not something that I'm going to get involved in. Again, I said the Tetris one would be shit. I want to see what this one's like, just out of curiosity.
Well, I've got the trailer playing on screen now, and it's nice to see Pac-Man in high fidelity. It's probably been done in high fidelity some of the times, but I'm not the kind of person that would go playing retro stuff like this anymore. I spent forever playing Pac-Man on old systems, back on the old Ataris and so on. So yeah, I've been there, I've done that. For me, I don't tend to revisit kind of stuff. So yeah, it's nice to see, but
they have spruced it up quite a bit. Obviously, it's not as well, it was just black and blue back in the day, and I haven't played a Pac-Man game for what is the longest time. Not any of the more modern ones. Obviously I've played Pac-Man if I go to the arcade club and play on the old arcade machines. I've played it there, but I haven't played anyone that's got like massive amounts of colours like this. Like my nephew 5 years old, absolutely loves Pac-Man. It's like one of his favorite games. That and Tetris. It's like he's a 90s kid. It's like he's an 80s, 90s kid again. That's all he plays. On Sky, I didn't realize on Sky, Bedlam Beehive still lives. By the way,
Does it?
That was the nephew.
Does it?
Yeah. If you got Sky Q, go
Beehive
to
Bedlam.
there's like a game section. Yeah, Beehive Bedlam's there, mate. You can play Pac-Man and Tetris.
Wow.
Didn't know that. My nephew told me.
I genuinely
5-year-old
thought
nephew.
it had been killed about 1 million years ago. I remember like getting like, what was it called then? Sky, was it just Sky Plus or something back then?
I think so. Yeah, well, I had Sky before it was recorded. I think it was just called Sky, wasn't it?
I can't remember. There was a certain like
Sky
box.
HD, something like that.
Yeah, and wow, Beehive Bedlam. I remember my aunt used to just spend hours playing it on the big feck off Sky remote where she pretty much stood and pressed the buttons on it. Wow.
But yeah, he's playing that. He's playing Tetris like nobody's business. So there is still obviously a market for it. Whether or not it's going to be very, very young children or people looking for a nostalgia trip, there is obviously still a demand for it somewhere. And that's why this has got me interested, because I want to see how well it does. Tetris Battle Royale's still doing really well. People are playing it constantly. There's a massive player base still there. So I want to see if this has the same sort of influence. So yeah, interesting.
Jumping into the chat. Okay, so if this has been a Brad, but why is ICU studio looking like that? Oh, okay, that's because I haven't changed the stuff around. Do you know, it's a good spot, actually. It's a good spot. It's because yesterday Bibi was in the studio. So let me change that one off. And that one on. There you go. Bibi's home, Graham's home. Ta-da! Fixed. Nice spot. Cheers, Abdul. Gagad says, oh no, we've done that one already. Bacon Chin, Morning Kings! Hey, here he is. How's things, dude? Gary says, I never thought I'd hear the words Pac and Man in 2020. Well, there you go. Nice. You're fixed. And Abdul's back as well. Hey, so are the nameplates. It doesn't say ICU Studio anymore. It says Bibi's home. Do you know what? Speaking about everyone being back, that's enough of that. We're going to go. But we will be back shortly. So that's going to finish things up. So Pac-Man... I can't even find it now. I've lost it. It's gone. Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle. That is the name of it. It's actually there on screen, so there you go. Is coming to Stadia. Just before we do wrap things up, actually, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, Stadia at least are trying something. I'm not sure it's enough. It's almost not too little too late, because I think they could still turn it around. It will be an absolute slog for them to do that. But I don't think it's enough to turn around by having a Pac-Man Battle Royale, because... Pac-Man has been done, and has been done, and has been done again. Battle Royale has been done, and has been done again. If you tell anyone that their favourite game of choice now has a Battle Royale mode, more often than not, that will be greeted with a because two things. Battle Royale was saturated really quickly, but the second and more important thing is Battle Royale was saturated really badly, really quickly. People thought, oh, fuck it, let's just make everything squash in and die. Yeah, nice. So, yeah, I mean, that on its own isn't necessarily a major thing, but the fact that they are building that in with Humankind, which I don't know what that is, okay, that's nice, that's another game. But then Immortals Phoenix Rising has a demo coming to Stadia. That is quite good, because Immortals Phoenix Rising is a game that does have attention. What was it originally called? Gods and Monsters? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they got rid of that name, if I'm being honest, because Gods and Monsters is a much better game than Immortals Phoenix Rising, because it's not... I've said it already. It should be Immortals, Phoenix Rising. Should be that. That's it. Why is it Immortals Phoenix Rising? It's not... Anyway, we've had this before. We've had this conversation before. But Stadia are doing some good stuff there. 3 games coming in the space of like 3 to 4 days that you can play a good... chunk of demo time on. The downside is they're nice, but are any of those really enough to make someone go out and jump into Stadia? If not, then you're going to be presented with the biggest issue that is there, is how can you entice people to jump in and play if there's not really going to be many people to play against? And that's the issue. It's nice, but these are sustain campaigns. These are what you do to keep your audience happy. These are retention tools, not recruitment tools, and that's what Google's issue is. They need to put more on recruitment, the big headliners, the big hitters that brings people in. But yeah, that's that. Anyway, me and Graham used to play Pac-Man so much at our nans that she used to say the Atari was overheating just to get us to go up. That's true. That is true. Anyway, speaking of going home, we are going to go home to the ICU Manor House, that is. For those of you who don't know, we do a PES series, a modded Master League on PC every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today is one of those days. So we are going to wrap things up now for the scoop and jump back on with Masters of the League. Episode 52? 1? 2? There we go, episode 52. We're at the end of the season. A very, very up and down episode in the last episode. I'm not going to give you any spoilers at this point because you might not have seen it. It was a double episode, so we'll give you the benefit of that. You might not have seen it, but yeah, some big achievements and some big heartbreak as well. So make sure you tune in to see that. Feel free to stick around in the channel. We'll be back on in about 10-15 minutes with that, so you don't have to go far. Obviously, if you do hit follow on the channel, you will be notified when we go live anyway. So if you do linger off, you can always jump back at that point in time. If you haven't hit follow on the channel, it would be appreciated if you do. Obviously, I mentioned it at the start of the stream. Let me type a couple of things in chat. ! 2K. We are almost at 2K followers, so once we hit that, we'll start a giveaway. But in the meantime, if you're thinking about subscribing to the channel and you would like a different giveaway, we are giving away a copy of FIFA 21 to subscribers. You don't have to be a tier 3 or anything. You don't get any benefits for being a tier 3 subscriber, that being a tier 1 or even a prime sub. But if you do have a prime just sat there in your wallet and you don't realise, oh, I could use this, then feel free to drop it here. Nice. Before we disappear though, Bib.
Yes.
Anything you want to add?
Yes, of course. If there is any video game news that you want to hear our thoughts and impressions on, you also want to voice yours. 2 ways that you can do it. First of all, find us on social media. It's at unskippable across all major social media platforms. Second way, join us in our Discord. On the left-hand side, there should be a little area in there called The Scoop. All we need you to do is drop your thoughts and impressions along with the news article itself. They will then give our thoughts and impressions. And the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m. ish. Yeah, so we do have an ish emote. I've just spammed it in chat. Obviously, don't forget, as a subscriber, you get access to our exclusive emotes. So help yourself. Anyway, we are going to disappear. Thank you everyone for joining us in the stream, including Gary, who says great stream, lads. I appreciate the gifted sub, Gary, and Mr. T as well. Very, very much appreciate the support from you guys. I think we're actually at the highest sub count we have ever been right now, so do you know what, it means a lot. The support is huge. Thank you very much. As mentioned previously many times before, all of the subs and the bits and the donos and any of that stuff goes back into us being able to do this isn't our full-time job. We don't get paid to do this, so that stuff makes it easier for us to do that kind of this. Genuinely appreciate it. Anyway, we are going to disappear. We'll see you in a bit for Masters of the League. If not, we'll see you at 10 a.m. ish tomorrow for the next episode of The Scoop. Until then, stay frosty.